Welcome to the following presentation of Minor League Esports on the MLE Network.
And welcome to DFH Stadium. Tonight is a night like no other, All Hallows Eve, as all the players come out for a great night of spooky Rocket League action. I am your host, Fallen, and we are tuning in to some prime time Saturday gameplay here over on the Minor League Esports channel. It is going to be a action-packed evening, and I could not kick things off without saying a fond hello to one of my favourite people to cast with. Lars New, join me on the stage.
Thank you, Fallen, for that wonderful intro. It's always fun to be here casting with you, and we've got a fun matchup. We got some Academy League action between the Wizards and the Comets, both looking to make a run for the playoffs here late in the season. We got the Comets coming in with a 28-27 record, and the Wizards 23-32, number 1 and 2 in the Mystic division. So it's an important matchup for the Comets. We've got $100 Patron and Stoofy, and on the side of the Wizards, we've got, I believe it is Silent and Mario RL. So this should be an important matchup that maybe you can enlighten us a little bit more on what's going on here.
Yeah, Stoofy being a mainstay of the Comets AR roster all season long, a 10-5 salary with a very good shooting attempts. He's been a very big MVPR scorer for the team, and really now is looking to try and get $100 Patron into this team. $100 only playing 2 series himself, not having the greatest stats, but it's very hard when you first come into MLE and you're first playing a couple of series to get into that rhythm. Once you start getting that experience, it can really tee things up. But on the opposite side of the field, you've got 2 experienced veterans in Mario and Silent, an 11-5 and a 12 irrespectively, because I said that backwards. Mario is the man to look out for there for the Wizards. He has been a strong advocate and a pusher forward for this Wizards roster, and has been the only real reason that they have found themselves in second place in their division. He has been doing an amazing job doing the most with what he can, and really has been all round their best player so far.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Comets, losing, I believe it was, hold on, where did my stat sheet go? Losing Matty Ice this week is going to be a big blow for them. But as we hop in here, a little last quick note is that the Comets are in really good position to make playoffs here, and the Wizards really need a big upset, really a 5-0 to hopefully take this. But losing Matty Ice puts the Wizards in a decent spot to try to take this one away.
Yeah, and the Wizards are looking for a 5-0 today. If they do find it, they will move themselves into tied first in the division, and a good start there from the Comets immediately shut down that fact. $100 looking for a great read off the corner, but can't find a way to direct it on target. Action-packed first 30 seconds. That is very hard to say with a lisp, as Silent now will look to try and control this one in the midfield.
Seeing lots of good midfield challenges here, and that's the play style you like to see, especially at the Academy League. If you can keep the opponent from getting up towards your back wall, you're going to be in a much better position defensively, but neither team able to really capitalize on those midfield challenges.
Yeah, and the Wizards right now definitely looking to come out strong. They've been a little pent in their own half to start things off. Silent will look to do something a little flashy, but it will just give the ball away instead of controlling it. Now the Comets looking to come forward. $100 almost funny away past Mario there, and Mario looking to try and read it in the corner, doesn't get the touch he wants, and Silent's forced to clear this one away from his near post. Now an opportunity breaking out, pass towards the center, but Stoofy can't find the right touch. That one will go deep into the Comets half. Silent now looking to try and do this by himself, takes it past one, gets the center pass, but Mario backed off. He wasn't expecting his teammate to be as successful as he was. That lack of commitment there may have just cost the Wizards going 1-0 up in this game.
Speaking of lack of commitment and getting aggressive up towards the back wall, like you mentioned here with the Wizards, not getting that aggression towards the back wall, but the Comets have done a good job so far when they see those opportunities staying upfield really punishing and trying to get shot after shot as there the Wizards finally start to put some pressure on the net. And yeah, we need to see them get aggressive and follow up these opportunities and not be so quick to abandon back to their own net.
Mario there looking maybe to try and take a ceiling shot. Couldn't find a way to collect the ball properly. $100 though will send this one long. That one bounces down. Stoofy shots off the crossbar. And now $100 looking to try and recuperate on the rebound, but can't find a way to get past Silent. Counter-attacking opportunity here, but a great demo from $100 Patron will get rid of Mario, get rid of the pressure, and Stoofy will shoot over the top of Silent to take the first goal here in game number 1.
That's a good turn from Stoofy, using power slide and boost to the maximum effect and catching the Wizards in a weird transition backwards. I think a little bit of a lack of awareness on the side of the Wizards, not seeing that developing sooner and getting caught. Upfield, there's not a whole lot you can do, but the player that was back running for boost needed to abandon that boost sooner to get back and play defense.
Yeah, now immediately looking to try and come out off this kickoff for a retaliation goal. Can't find a way past Stoofy at first. A good 50 there from him, and another good one will keep the ball deep in the Wizards' half. It will be Mario beating $100 though in the air to clear this one away. Stoofy getting a little bit of a bad read there, not judging the ball's positioning correctly, and will lose the boost in the process. Mario now looking for the pass down, will get it down in front of the box, and Silent will send it home. An absolute pile driver of a shot to even this game up.
That's great from Mario, I'm sure. Low on boost, turning back, keeping control of that ball, driving off the wall, and then popping it just far enough out to make it awkward for the Comets to challenge, and then a great follow-up from Silent to finish that one off. Comets need to do a little bit better job of defending coming from that corner. It's kind of the easiest spot to defend from, but if you're going to let the Wizards punish you there, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Great clearance there from $100 Patron. Now looking for a pass of his own, but can't get past Silent at the near post. Good defensive rotation there from them, but a great little passing play there from Stoofy and Patron. Won't lead to anything. Stoofy will be taken off the field for a few seconds by, I believe that was Silent. And Mario, with the attempted drive forward, can't find a way past the first defender. It's a very timid, I feel, start to this series, but a good little play there from Silent will try and open the play up. Good attempt from a demo though from Stoofy will make him drop possession, and whilst he got the boost in that situation, he didn't get control, and that is why control is key in a Rocket League game. $100 Patron will send the Comets back in front.
That is a great challenge from $100 Patron. You obviously maybe not looking to score right there, but just break up that attacking opportunity. But that's where that aggression pays off. Get up in the face of your opponent, catch them out of position, and when that ball goes netward, there's no one back to take advantage of it.
Aggression has been the key so far. It feels like whichever team can push on and keep pressure up for a matter of moments, really, is just taking control of this series. It's been a good start here for both teams, but the Wizards will feel a little hard done by. They had an opportunity earlier on to tie things up, and they will get this opportunity, but Silent can't find the connection on an open net, and they will be looking to make sure they don't rue that missed opportunity now. A minute left in this game. Can they find a way to do what I would consider to be a very difficult task and get a goal here to equalize?
It's so important here, though, this first game, with how this series kind of needs to go 5-0 either way for these teams to really find success here. The Wizards more than the Comets. Losing this first game would be devastating going forward. So the Wizards need to bring that aggression, bring that full tilt forward, and there it is with a beautiful touchback, and Mario getting the top right corner to tie this one up.
Perfectly placed. You couldn't ask for more. Stoofy left flat-footed in defense, right under the crossbar. An absolute boomer of a drive from the midfield. That is exactly why Mario has been the #1 player for the Wizards this season. When they need him to step up offensively, he finds a way to put them in the back of the net. And now looking to try and take the Wizards' first lead of this game. Can he get around the ball? He can't. We'll look to center that one, but a good clearance from Patron will send it to the halfway line. Silent looking to bring it forward. Can't find the angle with that shot. Now a 1v1 situation. Stoofy versus Mario. It immediately turns back on its head. The Wizards were looking maybe for a counter-attacking opportunity, but Mario is content to let this one go to overtime. It will be a very interesting overtime indeed here, but it might not even go there. An opportunity for Mario will eventually touch the floor. Game #1 here. It's got this has great series written all over it already.
Absolutely. We're seeing this develop so quickly. And as you know, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, is watching teams develop in real time through a series is great. And here we're seeing it within the span of one game here in overtime of number one. We've got the Comets bring out that aggressive play style, but the Wizards have gotten comfortable. They picked up the speed. They've started looking for some mechanical stuff and some passing plays, and it's paying off as the Comets threaten to take away game number one with a quick shot.
I thought Stoofy had that then, but Patron's looking for it, and Mario, great job there, diving in front of Silent's attempted save. He had a feeling that Silent was getting beaten there, and Silent will make a good read there on Stoofy's shot forward. But now the teams, they're getting a little flashy. Remember, this is Academy League, maximum rank of Champion 1. And right now, with the ranks being a little bit all over the place, Champion 1 can feel a lot like GC at times, but right now these players are showing that they are absolutely talented. Another great save from Stoofy will keep that one out. This is some top quality Academy League gameplay, but to sort of leech off of what you said earlier, this feels like we've already had an encased series within a single game. We've had the Comets go up early, the Wizards find a way back into it for the second goal. Then the Comets recover, take that third goal, go 2-1 up. The Wizards, again, limited time left on the clock, having to play against time itself to get a goal here, to take it to 2-2, take it to overtime. For the fifth and final goal, this could easily just be a metaphor for how this series is going to go. So it could genuinely all ride on this one goal to set the series, to set the tempo for the rest of the series.
The big note here for the Comets is they need the 5-0 to clinch playoffs, but if they don't get the 5-0, they're still in a really, really good position going into playoffs. They've got a decent lead over Wizards second in the division. If they don't win the division, they likely won't pick up a wild card, but their odds of winning the division, if they even just get a 3-2 here, are very good going forward. They just need to maintain a winning record throughout the rest of the season.
Opportunity now for the Wizards. A little bit of a mistouch there from Stoofy. Will tee it up in front of the net. Great demo from Mario, but can't find a way to allow Silent to get that shot on target. It's just a little bit of a miss there in the open net attempt. Will now lead to $100, trying to clear this out of his own half. Mario again will tee it up. Silent will be there this time, but it's a wide of the net. And the Wizards again, another opportunity goes begging, and now the Comets looking for a counter-attack. Stoofy will send it off the backboard. $100 looking for a good 50, but can't beat both players who will double commit on that. An opportunity though for Patron. Can't find the shot, but the rebound's there for Stoofy. And after leading twice in game number one, they will secure the deal in overtime.
This, you kind of felt like it was inevitable with the way the Comets were bringing pressure in overtime. That's a great job getting upfield. It's a little dangerous because if the Wizard managed to clear that, it would have put them in a bad spot trying to get back on this one. But it's a great job getting upfield, getting pressure on the net, and it just pays off well for the Comets. The whole overtime, it was kind of the Comets show. We saw some really good looks out of the Wizards. We saw a couple of things that have kind of become endemic to the Wizards and the play style so far, and what has already felt like a long series with Mario, I think it was, going off the ceiling several times and Silent playing a great support role. They were looking for those pass plays, but the Comets just brought consistent pressure upfield. They did a good job containing at the midfield and then getting follow-up shots on the net. You could see where they score there at the end, getting that quick touch first off the post and then with a second player already upfield ready to attack and punish it. That's been very typical of the Comets' play style through this game, and if they can maintain that through the series, it's going to pay off really well.
And one of the things I saw brought up in chat, I might as well bring it to everybody's attention. We currently have a little bit of a sort of a challenge going on. We are attempting to free Sleek, and as my co-caster will say here, he is a big proponent of freeing Sleek. And there's one way you can do it, and that is by donating all of the points that you have into the little point waster thing called #FreeSleek. If we can get to the target, we will free him. I'm kind of scared for when that happens. But either way, it looks like it could be a very interesting situation. And speaking of very interesting situations, we're now looking to get game number 2 underway here in this series. We've got Silent and Mario for the Wizards, Stoofy and $100 Patrol for the Comets. The Comets lead 1-0. Can they take game number 2 and really secure their spot as the dominant team in this matchup?
They can try, but we did see a lot to be excited for from the Wizard. Again, looking for those pass plays and those mechanical plays. They just need to settle it down, and a 4-1 here would still give them chances going towards playoffs. It's just disappointing for them getting off to a bad start here.
Yeah, now maybe the Wizards will have to try and find a way out of their own half here. Silent will look to try and take it past one. will bait out the challenge, but Mario will be forced to try and clean it up. Will get it, attempted to get it past one, but can't get it past Stoofy. Silent will tee that one up, but Patron, quick read there in his own half. Will now look to try and control this, but a good dive challenge from Mario will get a shot on target. Stoofy will be credited with a save, but there's a good demo, and that's an open net opportunity for Silent. He will find a way to put it home, and the Wizards will lead for the first time in this series.
This is something we've seen flashes of in the beginning of, or excuse me, through game number 1 here at the beginning of the series, but we didn't really see pay off is those physical plays as the demo and then Silent with the bump to open up the net. That is a great way to find some opportunities, especially against a staunch defense like this Comets defense.
Yeah, and really, the Comets defense, they haven't looked the strongest so far. It's one of those things where they are definitely the stronger team on offense, but it's just keeping the lead that may be a problem for them. But now that they already find themselves behind, they're playing chase now for the first time this series. They're now having to come from behind, and it will really be a showcase of how good this roster is in terms of mentality to get themselves back into a position where they can take a lead, perhaps. A double commit on defense there will keep Mario's shot away from there. Stoofy will look to try and carry this one out past the midfield, will take it up. That hits the ceiling and it will hit the backboard, but Mario, great read there, will clear that ball. Hasn't left their hearth yet though. That clearance will be perfect though. It's almost on target off the crossbar and out. And the Comets will find themselves lucky to not be 2 goals down with that great clearance.
That's a good, clear ball, like you said, but something I'd like to see a little bit more out of the Wizards is some more aggression. They're giving the Comets a little bit too much space. They need to get up in their face, take away opportunities, but that is all the way down. It's a little off net. Can they get there to clean it up? And Mario will. That is 2-0 for the Wizards.
That's exactly what we wanted to see, and really, the strategy so far from them hasn't been to play aggressive, it's to play counter-attacking. They allow the Comets to attack and attack and attack, and they're so confident in their own play on defense that they're able to take both of the Comets out of position and just deal a quick and decisive blow. They're not having to create opportunities because the Comets are creating them for them, and really, it's a playstyle that works until the Comets begin to settle. And really, as soon as the Comets start settling into their own patterns and getting their confidence to a level where they're able to hit most of the touches that they feel they should be able to, that's the point where they need to start rethinking their strategy. But for the moment, it's working. We're halfway gone here in game number 2. The Wizards lead 2-0. What do you say to that, Lars?
I think it's a good look for the Wizards, and we mentioned this earlier where that loss of, I believe it was Matty Ice from the Comets, is a big blow, and it's going to set them back a little bit, and Wizards bring a really strong lineup into this matchup. Both players with a well over a 4 MVPR, which is a great look for an Academy League look. But here's $100 Patron with an opportunity, doesn't quite find it, but exactly what you're saying is exactly true. You can catch teams in transition and be very effective at getting goals that way, as we've seen with the Wizards, getting the Comets in transition and scoring goals. But if you let the Comets continue to attack your net, eventually they're going to figure it out, and it's going to end up in Comets goals. So like I said, get a little more aggressive on the challenges. Force those transition plays and score goals on them, but force them from the midline, not from your back line.
Wonderful save there from Mario, just in the middle of your sentence. I wanted to interrupt, but I would let you finish your point there. It was a great little save from him, almost missing it with the pre-flip. Gets in there. Stoofy looking to carry this one down the field. Will get it past one, but it's bumped away. And Silent, with limited boost, will play it across the front of his goal. That's the devil's pass. You never commit to that. But it has worked out momentarily for the Wizards. Mario looking maybe for a dunk there off his air dribble, but can't find a way past $100. And Silent will be bumped into the net, and Mario will not find the target as he hits the crossbar, the post, and it will bounce out. The Wizards, unlucky to not be 3 goals up right now, but the Comets, they have not gotten any good offense going all game long, and it feels like all of that momentum they were carrying out of game number 1 has evaporated.
The Comets do something really well, which is play the midfield, and they do a good job getting it out to the midfield. And through most of this game, though, it's kind of dying off here at the end of game number 2. They've done a good job of controlling at the midfield, preventing the Wizards from clearing for the most part. They just can't seem to finish. It looks like their whole gameplay style just sort of dies right there on the midfield. They get there, they contain, they keep pressure forward, but then that's it. There's nothing more going, as that one is right on net. Mario gets a save off the post. Wow, but they just can't seem to finish off there. But as I say that, of course, here's the Comets on a good attack.
It feels like there hasn't been a fallen curse yet in this series. We haven't jinxed the gameplay, but the Comets will look like they are going to end up goalless here in game number 2, and they will. The Wizards, they equalize the series up. We are one apiece now, heading into game number 3, and a very good performance specifically on the defensive side from the Wizards.
This is a wildly different game than we saw in game number 1. Game number 1 was so much of a back and forth. We saw the playstyle develop wildly as we went through. It started with back wall to back wall. It started with some midfield challenges. It developed into this back wall to back wall, and then it kind of went back and forth for a while. Here in game number 2, it's been Comets on offense, Wizards punishing in transition. And then at the end, the Wizards have started to find some of that consistent offensive pressure, which is dangerous territory for the Comets. The Comets had the one thing they had going for them was keeping the ball contained and getting it clear of their own zone, not allowing the Wizards to hang around. And if they don't get that first goal, they don't give them chances to follow up. But as the Wizards find that midfield defense and are able to start to contain it down in the Comets' end, not only can they beat them in transition, but once it's down there, they're doing a good job of keeping it down there. And the Comets need to find really anything at this point, because they're getting beat all over the field.
Yeah, what I would suggest, again, backseat gaming here a little bit, but what I would suggest in the case of the Comets, they found a lot of trouble when aggressive physical players started coming out from the Wizards. If they can find a way to sort of replicate that for themselves and start to take the fight physically to the Wizards, learn to bump the first man out of the way so it's a 2v1 situation, they might find a little bit more success. But as we get game number 3 underway, we can speculate all we want. We've got to find out ourselves on the field, because as much as we can say what they should do, we don't really know what this game is going to turn out like. Even if we say it could be, even if we think it could easily be something we've already seen. Mario, you can't do that. I am grateful that did not go in, but that was insane.
Like we mentioned, Mario hunting for those mechanical plays. We saw them come off the ceiling multiple times, and here they've got a quick transition back, and the Comets very lucky getting away with murder, not getting back in time to defend that one appropriately, and it just gets ripped off the back wall, and they get to walk away now with the first 30 seconds not being scored on.
I love the Comets already getting that aggression out. Stoofy was looking for a bump there onto Silent, who would still somehow find a way to make the save. And now, with a great beat there in the corner, we'll look for the pass to Mario. But a good defensive touch from $100 will clear that one away. And a good 50 there will keep the ball in the Wizards' half. He'll get another one, and that one will center itself. But Mario, with a pinch of his own backboard, will clear it away. A minute gone here in game number 3. No goals scored. Both teams with good opportunities as Stoofy almost forces that one in at the near post. It feels like this is going to be a very hectic back and forth sort of game.
What I like to see so far is the evenness of how this has gone. We've got 4 shots on the match, 1 per player. It's not like one player is doing a crazy amount more than anybody else. And it's nice to see that level and balance, as here the Comets finally have an opportunity and score their first goal in 7 or so minutes, 8 minutes, and that is a good start to game number 3. Wizards need to get this one back under control.
Yeah, a great little piece of defensive play there, hanging on by the skin of their teeth, clearing that ball away, and then the double commit there from the Wizards on offense. Both players caught too far forward, not able to clear it away, and not able to get back in time. The Comets now, they have that goal cushion. Are they going to find a second? Not off of that play from $100, but there is definitely pressure mounting on both sides of the field, and the first team to crack were the Wizards, but it's not for long, because even the biggest cracks, little Chinese reference here, in China they repair broken pottery with gold, because scars are prized, and right now the Wizards are a prized possession and goals are theirs.
Fittingly, they are also kind of a goldish color, but I really like what I see out of the Wizards and the way they're playing. It shows a lot of heads-up, kind of intelligent play style, especially with that last one. You could see Mario coming down the side, had full boost, gave a little burst of boost coming over the midfield, knowing there were Comets players coming up behind them. Take away that boost, not give them that opportunity to scoop that up, and then collecting the boost down in the Comets' end, getting a bump, being aggressive and up in their face, but then seeing where the defense is positioned in the net, not back post, not, kind of sideways to the approach from the ball, and just controlling, getting a nice touch into the corner, and taking advantage of an awkward position out of the defense of the Comets.
great play there by Stoofy, able to get a great 50. I believe Mario double committed on that to bump him out of the way. Completely forgot about the second man. $100 Patron will send that one home. Not even halfway into this game number 3, and the Wizards, the Comets have taken back their lead here. The Wizards have a lot to do on offense to really secure a permanent lead in this fixture.
The Wizards...
Oh!
Okay,
Almost.
I'm just going to wait to see if that went in before I bothered to try to finish my point. The Wizards here, it's again, we've seen this game evolve so rapidly. It's so different from how we saw them in game number 2, where they could just control everywhere on the field, especially down there at the end, but they've lost all that momentum. And the Comets now, unfortunately, with the own goal, that is an unfortunate touch, trying to carry that ball across and away from the defense and end up just touching it to your own goal. At this point, you don't have a whole lot of options. That's not a great one.
Yeah, you have to feel bad for that sort of a goal. It's one of the ones you never want to see go in on either side of the field. They are the sort of goals you will kick yourself for if you end up losing a game because of them. And when the Comets are giving away their leads so consistently now, it starts to make me question whether or not the Wizards are truly the weaker roster in this matchup. Mario with a good attempted 50. It feels like it's just been a lot of Wizards control for the last 8.5 minutes. Ever since the end of game number 1, they've had a different sort of fire about them. The spark has been lit per se, and an attempted shot there from Stoofy to immediately shut me up will actually be saved by Mario, so that the caster's curse will not reign supreme.
Well, the curse, it's interesting, the curse is so prevalent, but here we are on Halloween, that so cursed night, and it's kind of dropped off. We haven't seen a whole lot of it, but like you said, we've seen good consistency out of the Wizards. They're doing a good job controlling the ball, even as the Comets find some success, but that is a great challenge, and this is what we asked for. Start making those challenges at the midfield, force those awkward transitions, don't let the Comet play develop, and this is where it pays off, is catching the players out of position. That's an easy shot on net.
I believe that the curses have sort of faded away for the time being because of, well, it's All Hallows Eve. Everybody is probably casting bewitching curses all over the place, so the universe sort of has to balance it out slightly with a night of less cursing in the sense of our gameplay. But the Comets, they now trail again. It's the second time they've trailed in this series, and Mario will double that deficit. An absolutely brilliant piece of controlling play from him to send the Wizards 4-2 up here in Game 3.
This is the second time we've seen Mario scoop the ball up somewhere near the corner, kind of in front of the net, scoop it up, slow it down, get control, and then find the opening in the defense. They haven't been big openings, tucking these into the corner, but it's just enough. Recognizing where the defense is, both players crossing left to right across the screen, you know where their momentum is going, you know where it's going to be open, taking advantage of it with a great shot, rolling it off the post and back into the net.
Yeah, and I feel like the Comets don't have that same level of composure on offense. They've been sort of throwing the ball at the Wizards defense, and half the time it works, but then there's the other half of the time when it doesn't. A great backflip saved there from $100 to keep that one out. He'll now look to control this one forward, but he's sort of lost possession before he can get a second touch, and that clearance from Silent is on target. Will find the back of the net. A great clear from him. This is why you don't lose control of the ball in the midfield when you're taking it into your opponent's half, because it can just lead to a boomer clear that ends up in the back of the net. 5-2 Wizards.
It's so important to keep that ball close to your car. As this clock ticks down, we've only got 18 seconds left here in this match, and I think we can probably call it in favor of the Wizards, but if you're the Comets, Fallen, what do you need to get this one back?
Better offensive pressure, not trusting in those long booming clears, trying to take control in that midfield again that you were so good at in game number 1, something that you have been missing dearly since game number 1. And as we come to an end of game number 3, the Wizards, they are a game away from taking this series and pushing on to take first place in their division away from the Comets.
This has been such a good showing out of the Wizards and how they've attacked this ball. What I would like to point out here real quick, we're going to take a second to look at the board. What I want to talk about is why the Wizards are so dangerous right now down in the offensive end against this Comets team. And it's because they're doing a couple of things. Let's see. Let's bring our board up real quick here. As they attack, they're coming down the field. They're tending to, I'm trying to draw on the wrong surface here.
Well
they're
done.
trying to drive through here and through the corner, but what's happening is they're either getting one of two looks. They're getting the toss off the back wall, which brings the ball out away from the post here and is going to draw the defense kind of away from the net, put them in an awkward spot. But where they're getting really dangerous is in two different ways. Is not only do they have this pass play, but we've seen Mario do it a couple of times, scooping the ball up, controlling, and then just tucking it into a corner. So you can't just assume it's going to come off this wall and be out in front of the net. You have to be aware that he can also very easily tuck it right back in. And the last thing is when they rotate through, they get a very solid rotation. You've got one player here, one player driving up the side. As they rotate through, they're rotating through the net, looking for a bump, allowing the second player to rotate back in, and then coming back up the midfield, ready to turn in and punish.
Yeah, and really, I'm just sort of waiting for a shift in this Comets playstyle. They've been way too sort of aggressive in the sense of they're throwing everything and then saving nothing. They have been caught out way too many times, pushing a little too far up the field. And even in the goals where Mario has just styled on them, it feels like they've just been double committing on defense. They've been being forced to make unforced errors. They need to start taking a sense of control. And here in game number 5, they look to start off strong, but a good save from Mario will keep it away. $100 with the bump onto, I believe that was Silent, but it did not lead to anything. And the Wizards will look to take control here in the midfield. 30 seconds gone, no goal scored, but a couple of opportunities for the Comets unfounded.
Something I'm not as excited about here is we're seeing kind of an inconsistency on both ends of the ball. Both these teams are capable of controlling and containing in one end, but we don't see it consistently through the game where one team gets control and then maintains it for good, consistent periods of time. They'll have a couple of moments. They'll spend 15, 20 seconds on the attack, but that'll only come every once in a while. I need to see one of these teams establish it and control it throughout the entire game.
And there was a misplay on the defensive side for the Comets once again. Silent will tee up the pass with Stoofy, and Stoofy will get tripped up and trip up his own teammate, allowing Mario to shoot on an open net and bury it in the bottom corner.
This is where the Wizards have been so dangerous, catching the Comets in the transition plays. And when you catch a team in transition, it makes it awkward. They don't know who goes back to net, who challenges, who tries to get in front of this ball, where do you put the ball when you do get control of it. And we see that happen right there. They panic, try to touch it across to take it away from the Wizards, end up tripping up on each other as they both look to challenge, and the Wizards more than happy to capitalize as they have all night.
Yeah, now the Wizards in their own half, where they actually are quite comfortable so far. They've not really been allowing the Comets to dominate the offensive side of things. They're able to stay composed, stay rotationally sound on defense, and it's something that I think the Comets could really have a look at after this series. Learn from the play style that the Wizards are using here, because both teams are both very mechanically and just in general very sound Academy League players. There is no weak player on the field per se. There is only a weak defensive rotation, and that's really been the cause of the downfall here of the Comets in this series.
That is something, I'm glad you said that. We don't see a weak player. That's something we see a lot of when you have these teams. You get a weird matchup and you have one player that's consistently missing balls or making weird touches and putting things in the wrong spot. As that one is threatening in front of the net. That's an awkward touch, speaking of awkward touches. But we don't see a player consistently making touches like that, and usually that's something that drags the team down. But like you said, these players are very consistently, at least at some level. The flip side of that, though, is if you're consistently making good touches, it means you're probably not pushing speed enough. If you are really pushing speed and trying to gain that speed edge over your opponent, you should be missing the ball, making missed touches. I'd like to see, perhaps, as much as they've done a good job with pace, a little bit more and really try to edge out that extra little bit of aggression.
And here come the Wizards now trying to get a bit aggressive on offense. They aren't able to find a way past the defender. Mario will take control in the midfield. He has boost in the tank. He'll look for something flashy. We know he wants one. He'll get the air dribble and will almost save it himself. Patron will clear that one away. And somehow, someway, the Comets have held on defense, but they are still trailing by 1, and the offense is still mounting. Mario now looking to center this one, but Stoofy with a great read above his own net to clear that one beyond the halfway line. He's chasing it down with no boost, feigns a challenge, but Silent will still keep control of the ball, and Patron will have to try and clear this one away himself. Won't find a way in past the halfway line, and the Wizards, they're starting to apply that vice-like clamp that we have seen so many teams apply in the past, of locking down that midfield boost control, locking down the midfield boost possession, and they've been stopping the Comets from breaking out.
Yeah, it does not feel like a 1-0 game. The way the Wizards are playing right now, you feel like this should be a much higher scoring affair, but so far it's not. Something I'm a little worried about with the Comets is we saw Stoofy make an early challenge on Mario trying to make a mechanical play over to get it center for Silent, and they did a great job getting up early and challenging it up early, but that hasn't been consistent. When you have players making plays like that, trying to attack the net, you have to make a decision fast. You need to challenge that immediately, and if you don't challenge it immediately, then you're forced to sit back, wait, and try to read it late. At that point, if you try to challenge at kind of mid-aggression, you're just going to put yourself out of position. Something we've seen the Wizards do fairly well is when they don't get that immediate challenge, they're very patient. They wait till the last possible moment to really make sure they're going to get a good challenge. And speaking of good challenges, that's really threatening back to the net. But Stoofy, a great job reading what's happening and getting back and making the save.
22 seconds left here in game number 4. The series is on the line for the Comets. They need to find a way to get on offense, but right now Mario is going to take the control in this series. Will go 2-0 up for the Wizards, will double their lead and pretty much secure a series victory for his team.
It's unfortunate to see that for the Comets. Again, you said 2-0 is going to pretty much lock this one up. The Comets now falling 3-1 in the series. Remember, this is minor league esports. We are going to play more of a set than a series. Every game counts when it comes to playoff. We talked about a couple of different playoff scenarios at the start of this series, but every game counts. So we are going to see game number 5 here, even though the Comets falling to the Wizards 3-1 so far in this series.
And to think, we were coming into this series with Comets number 1 in the division, Wizards number 2. I explained a little bit beforehand how I felt that Matty Ice was one of the strongest players in Academy League, full stop. So his leaving of the Comets could easily have had an adverse effect on them, and right now we're starting to see that a little bit. They are being cooped up in their own half the majority of the game. They aren't able to break out, and every shot that they're taking is being turned into a save for the Wizards, who really have looked a step above ever since the end of game number 1. But in the case of the series result, it has gone 3-1 as of now to the Wizards. That could turn into a 3-2 or a 4-1. And in the case of a 4-1, the Wizards will be trailing by 2 games in their division. That is as close as they can get, and I think that's what they're aiming for right now.
Well, they definitely have to be, because the season's not over yet, so that does put them in a better position going forward. I do want to talk real quick. We've got 8 saves on the side of the Comets. On the one hand, you've heard me mention this again and again and again. It's great to see a team can put up a good defensive effort like that, make a bunch of saves, but the flip side of that is it means you're not getting the ball clear. If you're making tons and tons of saves, it means you're getting punished in your own end. You're allowing the other team to take shot after shot after shot and forcing you to make all those saves. I think if this is going to be a 3-2, we need to see a wildly different Comets, because the way the last few games have gone, this has been the Wizards show.
And remember, the Wizards, as of before this series, were 11 games behind the final wildcard spot. A wonderful save from Patron to keep that one out. But they also Patron. I keep saying his name wrong. My apologies. But the Wizards, they don't have a route in through that wildcard position. They need to get top of their division to guarantee a spot. And really, I don't see them really losing this fight against the Comets. The Comets have had really nothing so far, except for that game number 1 in this series.
Yeah, and you said, they need to clinch the top of the division. It's going to be a tough uphill battle, but if the Comets continue to lose games like this, and the Wizards, if they can continue to come out and be dominant and put up big, big wins, assuming that is under the assumption they managed to win game number 5 here, gives them a legitimate chance to pick up that division win. And with the way these teams are right now, especially if the Comets lose enough games to lose the division to the Wizards, it kind of takes away any real hope of picking up a wild card slot either. So this is really do or die for both of these teams. They need a division win, as Mario making a statement off that beautiful pass from Silent.
Now, here's a little fun fact. If the Wizards are to pick up game number 5 here and go 4-1 in this series, it will make it so that every team in the Mystic Division has a negative game win-loss record. That is a genuine fact that will be coming out if the Wizards can take this one home. They already have an early lead, but now, can they maintain it? We've seen them do so well at controlling the game beforehand. Are they going to be able to repeat that here in game number 5? Silent will not get that boost away from Stoofy. A great boost steal there in his own half. Will now look to go up and try and beat Mario, who is just so in control of his car at all points that it feels like you're watching a freestyler play. He is so dominant right now in the air, but Patron almost doing it himself, almost found a double touch there to really just clip on Mario. Can't find a way past it though. 3 minutes 10 to go, and the scoreline still remains 1-0 for the Wizards.
Well, I want to say 2 things about Mario here in this game in general, the series in general. The first is what's really nice to see with the Wizards is a lot of times you'll see a team have a really mechanical player, Silent, looking to pick up a goal here and doesn't quite find it. But you see a lot of times you have a team with a really mechanical player, but they'll be really deficit in a lot of other places. Like they don't do team plays well, they don't play physical well, they don't position well. Not the case with the Wizards here. You've got Mario being very physical, very mechanical, and we can acknowledge this quick goal here, but I don't think there's a whole lot to say at this point. Wizards getting consistent pressure upfield and catching the Comets out of position, so I'm gonna power through and just keep talking. Sorry, Colin.
Oh, it's fine. I was just going to say a great pull shot there from Mario, even though Silent got the goal. I feel like he sort of stole that one away from Mario.
That is worth noting. And speaking of pool shots and it being worth noting, this is an MLE official broadcast. So if you see what you like and you want to maybe submit it for Play of the Week, go ahead and clip it. Send it in on Twitter, twitter.com/MLESportsGG, hashtag POTW, or the appropriate Discord in the MLE Discord.
Or Twitter with the hashtag Play of the Week.
Exactly. And then we can get one of these players a case of Balls Piranha, which we will talk about later, and I apologize for the dog in the background.
Oh, no apologies. Never apologize for a woofer. I'm assuming Twitch chat is already going absolutely barking mad over it. But Patron almost finding the back of the net there with that shot. The bounce shot just away. 2 minutes to go. The Comets now, they find themselves in a hole. Can they dig themselves out of it? Patron with a good 50. Stoofy will look to chase this one, but will give Mario enough time to control it. That's not what you need to do right now. You need to start stepping up the aggression, lads, if you're going to find a way to take a game out of the Wizards, who have looked very good ever since that overtime loss in game number 1. Now, $100 Patron, sending that one forward. We'll try and get the 50 with Silent, but Silent will just win it out. Stoofy centering that for himself, but a good 50 from Mario will clear it away from his own half. Looking to try and take it forward. Can't find a way past Patron. And again, there's no real pressure there from either of the Comets players. They're allowing the Wizards so much room on the field, and they will find the back of the net. Mario will get his second ball shot of the day, and will send, I believe that was $100 Patron, into his own net alongside the ball.
That is with Mario and the pool shots today. That is crazy. The one thing I wanted to mention this earlier, but there had so much going on that we didn't really have time. And I was kind of hoping what we see a lot of is when a team goes down in a series like this, they actually start to play better. They start to get a little more free, a little more loose with their play style because the series is already lost. It doesn't matter as much mentally. So they start to play free and loose, and it works, and they pick up goals. They start to play really dominant because they're not overthinking what they're doing. They're getting fast and aggressive and comfortable with the play style. Unfortunately here, not the case for the Comets, as the Wizards continue to show up and are just hammering away at this Comets team.
Yeah, now $100 Patrol with 30 seconds left on the clock has everything to do with no boost, and that has been a symbol of the dominance from the Wizards. They've been starving out the Comets, not only going up the midfield, but also in their own half. Mario almost found the back of the net again there, off the crossbar, the post, and out. But as the clock ticks down, the series was won in Game 4, but in Game 5, it was signed, sealed, and fully sent home. The Wizards take game number 5. They take the series 4-1, and they never looked back from that loss in Game 1. A wonderful performance from Silent and Mario, and a wonderful, wonderful series to open up the mainstream here tonight. And as we look now at the stats for each of the players, one of the things to note here was just how good Mario specifically played for the Wizards. He was all over the field all the time, and apparently we're getting reports that he's upset that he didn't get a Player of the Week clip in at any point in that game. Honestly, he was very close to hitting at least 2 of them, but he has all of those pull shot goals to possibly nominate for himself, so who knows, he might find a way onto it just yet.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how often pull shots come up. I would like to see one nominated for Play of the Week, so hopefully that works out for Mario. As it worked out for the Wizards, taking the series 4-1 here. Unfortunately, not the 5-0 they really needed. And they could have. They got so close in game number 1, and it just didn't pan out. But it does put them in a much better position than they were before, trying to get that division lead. Going forward, though, that is going to be it for this series. We've got another series coming up and a lot more Rocket League action here tonight. But before we go, if you need a new controller, try to get yourself a little bit of an advantage in gameplay. Make sure you take a look at PowerA controllers. They are a sponsor. I was trying to find mine and grab mine earlier, but I just...
I got mine.
I'm a mess. Everything is scattered everywhere, so unfortunately I don't have it. But if you need one, check them out, PowerA. If you need a new controller, it's Xbox-style controllers, wired controllers, and I have one, and it's been great, and I love it. But that is it for us here on this series. We're going to go to a quick intermission. Make sure you stick around because we have more exciting MLE action coming up after this break.